Alright, we're in the old Mustang today and we're going to give a quick overview on how to drive a manual car. Um, it seems simple, but no one ever taught me. I had to learn myself. So there's a few things that people tell you that will just throw you way off. First thing is, well, you just let out the clutch while you're pressing the gas. There's more to it than that. There's certain things to be aware of that will greatly aid someone in being able to drive a manual car. So the biggest thing really is just getting going from a dead stop with a manual, which isn't as bad as it seems. And I even have a really low geared car that really doesn't come off the line very well anyway. So I'm just putting 373 in and it'll fix that. That's a different story for a different day. Anyway, so on your clutch, there's actually a catch point where your clutch plate will meet and grab, and that's important because that is what hooks your transmission to your engine and synchronizes them together. So there's going to be a point where when you're letting up where it's going to start to want to kind of move forward or stall. We'll do that right now. And that's mine right there. And my car is rolling forward right now and I don't have the gas pressed. We'll show it again up in the RPM here. And there it is, we're rolling. So for most people, that's about the hardest thing. Now, to get going, when you get to that point, just give it a little gas. And then slowly, let up on that as you go. So we'll put it in gear here. We'll go slow for people who you really don't know. So catch point, gas, and oh, look at that. A smooth transition and we're driving. It's not that hard of a concept really. And then as far as shifting goes, you get up to an RPM where you can shift and then you'll be at a reasonable RPM in your next gear. Now this transmission that I have, every gear is about 1,000 RPM different. So in other words, I don't want to drop below 1,500 RPM really when I shift. So naturally, I always want to be at least at 2,500 RPM or higher. And the faster you're going, potentially the more RPM you'll need because it's more strain on the engine. So, and now we'll cover downshifting because most people really don't understand the importance of downshifting. I mean, sure, you can press a clutch, take it out of gear, and hit your brakes and come to a stop, but that's really, you're just burning your brakes up, and it's just kind of ignorant. That's a novice move. So we'll go over downshifting really quick and the concepts behind that. So, and we're going again. Shift, and we're going. Now, I'm not necessarily going to downshift because I'm only in first and second gear, but this is the general concept. When you let off your gas, your RPM is going to start to drop naturally. Now, if I can get a hand in here. Now, when it gets, semi-low, just drop it in the next gear, and it helps you to stop. Slows your engine speed down, and if you pay attention to when you're driving and shift at the right times, or downshift at the right time, you save your brakes a lot. I drove this car on 20% brakes since I got it when I was 15. They lasted me till I was 18 years old because I understood downshifting. So pull back in here. One more thing. trying to recall what that one more thing is. Oh, and a lot of people sit on their clutch, you know, they forget to take your foot off of it. Get your foot off that that clutch pedal, because you don't want to burn up your clutch. And don't be sitting at a stop with it in first gear with your foot on the clutch, rocking it back and forth, because the more often your foot is on the clutch, you're into your throwout bearing, and really don't want to wear that out, because it's a lot of work to pull a tranny and change that over. And if you don't do it yourself, then it's expensive. So other than that, I mean, driving a manual car is not that hard. The catch point and the gas is simple, and when you shift gears, it's just a simple, pull up our handbrake here so we don't run away. It's just a simple load up on the gas and push down on the brake almost simultaneously once it's engaged into the next gear. You know, you don't necessarily want to be feathering every gear, because that's just premature wear on your clutch components. So other than that, it's not that hard of a thing to do, you know, and you just have to think about it when you first start doing it. But after that, after 6 months to a year, you know, you don't. I mean, it's just second nature, and you feel better about driving a manual than you do an automatic. So I've really enjoyed it. So that's just a quick overview, and if anyone has any questions, they can go ahead and ask. I'd be happy to answer. And if I forgot anything, you know. Oh, and when I park my car, I use my handbrake. I don't park it in gear and then just let it go in gear and let it rock against that gear. As I've noticed that's caused when I do that, and when other people have done that in their vehicles, their tranny has some issues. That just acts up a little bit. So anyway, that being said, that's just something to keep in mind, you know. Just something I've kind of noticed. So I just always use my handbrake. Don't crank your handbrake to the sky in a manual car. You're just stretching out your cables and wearing out your components, and eventually what's going to happen is you're going to crank that up one day and your car's still going to roll. So keep that in mind as well. So, well, it's been fun. 159,000 miles, still going strong on this old car. Sounds pretty healthy. All right, thanks.